Hello. Thanks a lot for being here. How are you doing? I hope you're doing fine, and I really do hope you're doing well. My name is Nwadiuto, and I am a teens coach. You would have seen the previous video where we started our discussions on expectations. Now we want to speak to unrealistic expectations. And I know many of us know what the unrealistic expectations are, but for the sake of many that don't have it, is when we expect something from a child that is beyond the capabilities or the abilities of that child, then that expectation is very unrealistic. So when a child this comes across majorly when we talk about academics performance. You know, a child right now who is not doing so well academically, and then you tell the child that you are expected to be first in your class, and then the weight of the expectation weighs the child down so much that the child even performs worse than the child would have normally performed, because the child is having that thought and I'm trying to please my parents, but in the bid of it, they are worrying more about pleasing the parents than pleasing the parent. So you find out that it is too much of a burden whenever the expectations we have of our children are unrealistic. So they know these things, they see it, they hear us, they feel it, they sense it. When we are saying to them with our gestures or our body language or the tonality of our voice, when it's tearing them down and telling them that you should be better. Why are you not better? Be like this or do like that. And they sense it, they know it. While they are telling us that they tried their best, all we're saying to them is, you must be better. I expect a lot more from you. So it is necessary that we sit down with our children to be able to carve out the kind of expectations that we have of them. Yes, we all want our children to be successes, but then who is defining what success is for each child? What does success mean? To us, it will be be prim and proper, score good grades. What else are those successful expectations that we have of our children? It is necessary that we sit down and be able to carve the right growth mindset for our children. For each child we know as parents, we know the capabilities of our children. We know what they are, their abilities. We know it already. So you know that this is where this child is at right now. And then I would really love that this child gets here. But moving this child from here to this point seems like a very wide gap to cover. So what do we do then? Why don't we rather focus on this child getting to this point, and then let's move this child from here to here rather than from here to here right now. So let's take it one step at a time before we get to this place where we hope that this child will get to. So that makes it more realistic for this child to get here. So instead of focusing on the child being here and wanting to push the child here, what happens to this child is that they are burdened with the pressure of getting to this point, that they just lose it totally and then they fall off. So at the end of the day, they are demotivated. Something that was supposed to motivate them and give them the push that they were supposed to get to where they had to get to, they get demotivated. They do not even want to. They are more concerned and worried. They are stressed about having to please the parent rather than pleasing the parents, rather than studying and pleasing the parent with their grades. So we need to be careful about these things. I'm citing examples or illustrations like this because it actually resonates with many of us. But there are several other areas. You take your child out and then you're at an event, a function, and your child just comes yelling or something, and you're like, be prim and proper. At what point did we teach our children to be prim and proper? And prim and proper to who? Who are we trying to please? A child who has been that way for a very long time, suddenly, because we are outside, we expect that the child should know that they should be prim and proper. It's not a miracle. It's not magic. So there has to be a place where it is taught, and then it's a gradual transitioning. So this child is learning to move from being brash and behaving anyhow, there should be a word for that, and then now transitioning to the way they behave outside and say, okay, this is not your comfort zone. So when you're outside, we're considerate of others, and there's a way to behave. You don't just speak anyhow, or they are learning. It's a learning process. But wanting them to just go outside and then suddenly, you too, won't you be surprised at that kind of behavior from your child? Okay, so everything is a journey, everything takes time. So we want to catch ourselves. There are some times that it is subconsciously done. We just catch ourselves and say, oh, this expectation that I have of this child is too much. It's going to weigh the child down. Then we retract. Okay, we have that conversation with the child, and we let the child know that yes, even though we expect this and this, but then it's okay to grow to it. It's okay to take it one step at a time, so that the child knows that, okay, I don't have to be stressed about it. I'm growing, there's opportunity for growth, and it's a process. Okay, so we want to have those conversations with our children. So yes, spell out what the expectations are. When they are unrealistic, when we dabble into unrealistic expectations, let's catch ourselves and let's correct the expectation that we have of our children. Thank you very much for listening in. If you love this video, kindly give this video a big fat thumbs up for me, and subscribe if you've not done so already. I'm going to be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.